For today's 6-minute makeover, we're going to talk about a really common problem, and that's knowing when it's time to open a second shop on Etsy. Lots of people ask me about opening another shop and how to know when it's time. So everyone is a bit different, so here's the easiest way for me to customize this process to your circumstances. Let's have a look at a shop with a common problem, and let's see if your shop is giving customers this same effect. When I first started shopping in this Etsy storefront, I found this amazing piece that I really loved. And when I was looking at this piece, I was thinking, okay, great, this is so close to what I want. Maybe if I look at their shop, I'll see that they have other variations on it that nails exactly what I'm looking for. But when I opened their shop itself, I was met with something I did not expect to see at all. In fact, it was totally the opposite of what I was expecting to see. And I was so confused and flabbergasted by this that I just decided to leave the shop entirely. I didn't even try to look for what I was looking for. They might have it. I didn't look because it was going to be too hard for me to find it. And as a user, I have lots of different options. So why would I waste my time finding something when it's not immediately available for me and it's not immediately obvious? So one of the fundamental problems with having an eclectic Etsy storefront like the seller we just looked at is that it kind of removes the trust from the equation. If I'm shopping on Etsy, I'm looking for something unique, probably handmade or vintage, something that's maybe one of a kind, and I don't want you to be selling 50,000 other things in your shop because it means you're not giving your undivided attention to the item that I want to buy. You're not a specialist. You're just trying to sell me everything under the sun in order to make money, and that's how browsing that last shop really felt for me as a customer. It's one of the reasons why I left so quickly, and it's also one of the reasons why I would never buy from that shop. I'm not going to buy a shirt from a sticker seller. That doesn't make any sense. So make sure that you're thinking about that when you're trying to decide if you should add a new product that you want to sell to your existing shop or if you need to add that product to a completely different shop. Okay, so let's have a look at this Etsy shop here. If you scroll down, you'll notice there's quite a bit going on just in this section alone. There's hats, there's jewelry, there's patches, and as we scroll down, we'll see it's even more. There's pencils, there's enamel pens. There's all kinds of stuff going on here, but this seller has 59,000 sales, so obviously they're doing something that's working. Let's break down why having this kind of eclectic shop works, but having my previous kind of eclectic shop didn't work. Let's pretend that you entered this shop because you clicked on this patch, because you were looking for a patch to sew onto a backpack, and you found this shop. Now let's take a look around. First of all, these hats have patches on them as well, and the jewelry is very similar to the artwork on the patches, not to mention it's kind of geared toward the same kind of girl. The girl who would want this patch to sew onto a backpack would definitely be into the trend of a choker or potentially putting silly things on a necklace or maybe taking that patch and putting it on a hat. As we scroll down, we'll notice that her jewelry, hats, and patches are all geared towards the same kind of girl. And she's choosing things. If you want to put a patch in your backpack, you might also want to put a pin on your backpack. And patches and pins are all about wearing things, so jewelry can work too. And that's one of the reasons why this shop works so well. The other thing I want to point out is it's very, very unlikely that this seller started with all these different things in her shop. She probably started with one specific item and expanded out over time based on what her customers were already telling her and what she knew about her target audience. Knowing your target audience makes all the difference when it comes to creating a shop that works for them if you're going to vary your items. There's a video below this one that will walk you through how to find your target audience and why it's so important to gear your shop towards one specific person in order to quadruple your sales. But in the meantime, I would argue that it is best for you to start with one very specific thing that's working for you that customers are buying. Don't try to sell them everything under the sun because it's not going to work. Start with one thing that works for you, make it into a bestseller, and then you can move forward based on what your customers want or other things that you're seeing them buying on Etsy. This is easy to find. All you have to do is click on your stats, and when you scroll down to this section where it tells you what your search terms are, there's a little link here that says what else have your customers searched for. You can click it and see exactly what's going on here. Now, some of these things are relevant. For example, in my home decor shop, Father's Day would work for me. Not to mention, cactus-related stuff would work for me. So don't take these as a be-all, end-all indication of what you need to sell, but do get a better understanding for what your customers are shopping for and buying on Etsy, and how you might be able to complement your own products by looking at this information. So that's today's 6-minute makeover. Thanks so much for watching.
Right.